Riser who works here at the Rock, he's got a big beak on him. He could smoke a cigar in the fucking rain. Well, happy Thursday.
Thursday, I'm thirsty. Are you thirsty, Jay?
Fuck, you can tell. Happy Thursday, you absolute weapons. Benny Boy is in here running the cutter while Dunc is weighing well. As you can tell, I'm fucking partially here.
Yeah, you're sort of here. On today's app, the Master Hunter War Story. This one's an absolute doozy. We're talking duck season, rainy day darts. Why is your piss yellow? What happens when you mess up camping? And your yarn submitted to us.
And obviously, this couldn't be done without the team at Classic Builders. Thank you for backing Not For Radio. They're what we'd call a people's builder. Big enough to know what they're doing, local enough to still answer the phone, and we absolutely love you. Let's rip right in.
Attention, snipers! Gear up and hold your positions. It's time to load up some war stories. Your tales from the front line, brought to life. Prepare to fire.
Now this story comes all the way to us from Northern Ontario. I've been to Canada and ridden right up to the rode all the way up to Rivière-du-Loup, which is on the New Brunswick border with Ontario.
Riding like motorcycles,
yeah.
We
did a 100 Years of Harley Davidson documentary for Discovery Channel.
Fuck, that's so cool.
Yeah, so I got partnered up.
We're on an old bike or a new one?
Nah, it was a brand. It's actually the bike that I currently own.
Is it?
Yeah, which is
the one that's still in a shop that you haven't recovered for months?
that's a different bike. This is the Lowrider S, which it would have been to 2016, 2017 I did this ride. And so basically they picked 3 parts of Canada to ride through to celebrate 100 years, and then flew international riders in and partnered them with domestic riders to do these different rides. So one rider went up through the Rockies. I went from Toronto all the way up to Rivière-du-Loup. Basically, we rode into the snow till you couldn't ride any further.
That's incredible.
And then we just went and heated up some maple syrup and made maple syrup lorries.
There's something about driving through the snow in an inappropriate vehicle. When I was in LA and I'd rented a Mustang, I was out there with PlayStation, and Mammoth Mountain was having a super long season. Like, it was like nearly summer and they were still open. I went, I've got 2 days off. So I take the convertible Mustang out there and wanted to put the hood down. So I got a rental board sticking out of the back seat, driving up through the snow with just the hood off, just like, yes, living the dream. People looking at me like, what are you doing?
It's cool because you go through Quebec, and so the guy that I was riding with, Charles Edouard, he is Quebecois, and so it was just, it blew my mind.
Do you speak any French?
Did I? No, absolutely not. But parlez-vous anglais? And they go, no.
No,
so awesome.
They hate it too. I found it in Paris. They all speak English. They do not want to speak it to you, though.
Mate, and Charles Edouard was saying that when he went to Paris, because he's a motorcycle journalist, he ended up over there. And obviously he's Quebecois, but obviously they speak French. And so he would speak to them, and they're like, I do not understand what you are saying. And he's like, fuck you, you don't.
Of course
you do, you miserable pricks.
You just don't like my accent.
Yeah. So, they're like, that's disgusting. Anywho, back to the war story we go. This is from Zane in Ontario, Canada. And it's a Macmillan TAC 50, which is our new favourite way of saying a David Longer, which is the longest
Loaded up.
It's a long
50 calibers of yarn.
Yeah, this is a long-range sniper rifle. I live in Northern Ontario, recently moved from Alberta, Canada. Tend to do hunting in grizzly country in Western Alberta, so I always pack a can of the Devil's Fire Arse Igniter, a.k.a. bear spray, with me. In the event that my intros potentially become the next entree to the wildlife full cavity search. It's fucking gnarly, eh?
It's so...
I don't know. You can literally fall asleep anywhere. I mean, obviously it'd be a little bit different at the moment if you were to be sleeping in the bush in the raw. But for the most part, nothing
Pretty
fucks
sick.
with you in New Zealand.
Only in the ocean.
Even then, like
Even
fucking
then.
John O'Riddler just swam the length of the North Island and didn't get fucked with once.
Yeah, this is. He got buzzed by quite a few sharks.
Yeah, he got
Bronzies and
lots
stuff
of them
had a look
saw
at
him. Yeah, but they're always going to check you out, and it was always in those morning sessions. Anywho, I decided to take my e-bike out instead to hit the trails and set up for the hunt. I hit the bush, zipped in like a silent camo death ninja of cervids for about 7 clicks, then covertly hid the old electric chair into a tango of willows. Find a birch tree on a game trail I scouted and start to set up my climbing sticks for an afternoon hang in my hunting saddle sex swing for opening day of archery. Fucking fantastic. Looks like a good afternoon. Well, it was not. Set my gear up, mount the first climbing stick like I'm Edmund fucking Hillary conquering Everest, and this is where everything happens fast. I go to step on the second climbing stick peg, but my foot brushed it closed. Oh, yeah. His climbing sticks.
It's like folds.
Yeah. It's like pigs on a bike. Like you can just sit, yeah. Fuck. That is no
Your
good.
missus know heaps about pegging, AJ.
That's exactly right. Also use bear spray. No biggie. I try to kick it open, but the climbing stick pivots and then suddenly Newton's law of gravity takes hold of me. The lineman's rope stops me and my cock and balls land firmly wedged on the cheese grater bottom peg. Feeling my left nut stretch about 4 inches too far, I start to panic. At this point, I decide that I don't want to separate my right and left nut. They're good mates after all. I quickly devise a plan when I realise I'm only 3 feet from the ground. So I pull the quick release on the lineman's rope, kick off the tree, and I think I'll drop to the ground, save my testes, jiggle it a bit, back into place, and just try again. But there is one small problem. There is a small pointy nubbin of a... There is a small pointy nubbin of a tree branch sticking out of that otherwise fucking bare naked birch tree. And that son of a gun punches the can of bear spray on my chest.
Oh, no.
I hear a quick hiss, a smell of compressed nitrogen, and then I get a face and chest full of Alberta-grade grizzly seasoning. I'm wearing a light camo hoodie that is as effective as a gill net on an ox fart.
That's a visual metaphor.
I inhale a mouthful of the spray, and for a moment, it feels like a very spicy helium balloon. And that shit gets all over my chest and face. Now I'm in panic mode 2.0. Now, this is not Grizz country, but I am in butt fuck nowhere, no cell service, in black bear and wolf country. And dark is about 2 hours away. It instantly dawns on me. How in the fuck am I going to get out of the bush as my eyes start to swell and shut? I immediately go for my backpack, dose my face with water, strip to my undies, run in the mud, in my socks to the e-bike, between gasps of air, screaming to the gods while trying to avoid wiping Satan's shit stain all over my body in fear of spreading it. I get back to my gear, I get my boots back on, all the other gear shoved into the side saddles of the electric chair, and full throttle that fucker back to the truck while I can still partially see. I find 2 bottles of water in the back of the truck, realizing it's not enough to put out the fire. I poke a hole in each one of the caps with my pocket knife and start double fist douche.
Just a full...
Start a double fist
double
douche.
angle.
Scene that would give an Aquafina water commercial an R rating. At this point, my skin feels like it's been run through a sandpaper grinder, and the water has washed Satan's semen down my body and into the crack of my ass and my balls. Yay for me.
Holy fuck.
In the truck heading home, it's been about 45 minutes from after my eyes can finally see properly again. In nothing but socks, boots, and undies, I have an AC on max, windows open, blasting as much delicious cold air all over my all over myself to abate the pain, while intermittently douching myself in with half of the saved bottle of water. The seatbelt touching my skin makes it worse. I feel like a scene in Rambo when they electrocute him, but the jumpers are connected to my nipples and my cock. Fuck my life. I make the 1 hour drive back to town. I'm thinking of the Insta reels I've watched of idiots that pepper and bear spray themselves. The only common denominator is milk. Circle K is on the way home. I get to Circle K, forget I'm in nothing but socks, boots, and underwear. I step out of the truck, recognize the breeze of being basically naked. I seem to start to attract a lot of attention, as one would expect. Then, whoop, whoop, you guessed it, 5-0, baby. Sir, are you okay? I reply, yes, I am. I got bear sprayed. Cops reply, who bear sprayed you? I respond, it was me by accident. And then proceed to explain my story for 15 minutes in my undies before being allowed to throw back on my spicy pants and a work quarter zip pullover to find the back. I find in the back of the truck. Pick up 3 liters of milk and a 6-pack. The cashier asked me with a deadpan, normal, everyday look while staring into my Quasimodo eyes, "Do you want a lotto ticket?" Fuck it. Yeah, darling, give me 20 bucks. Went home, had a very personal shower with a gallon of milk, and that is my story on how I fuck with a can of beer spray. Love the work, up the wires.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
That is diabolical.
You poor
Hey,
prick.
fellas. Travis from Montana, USA. If the ocean were beer and I were a duck, I'd swim to the bottom and drink my way up. But the ocean's not beer, and I'm not a fucking duck. So let's sit right here and listen to Jay and fucking Dunc. Not for radio.
Legend.
There's glorious stuff.
It's duck season at the moment, isn't it?
Well,
Are you
it's
going to
getting
get
close.
out?
Getting close. May 1st, opening weekend, is when we
Yes.
can get out and bang some birds, which is exciting. This is the chat is now firing up. We've got the Flying D's, which is our group chat. There's 5 of us in this Mai. We're very lucky. We get to shoot we shoot 2 very iconic ponds in a very, very duck heavy region, and it's the excitement. We get the Friday off before the opening day on Saturday. And so we go down there and we set out all the decoys and we push all the birds off, and then we fucking start. We had this big long dinner this year. We've got a very special couple of additions to the weekend, which I'm very excited about. And the lads are just absolutely chirping, particularly Matty Carl. So the rest of us, so there's myself, Dunc, Till Banger, and then Rich Wright, who is a real estate agent at the Mount. So all of us lead very similar lives to a certain extent, city-based or town-based, and Tilly gets out quite a bit. He's got a helicopter, so he heli hunts a whole bunch of stuff as well.
Are you allowed to hunt ducks from a helicopter?
No, you're not. It's fucking very frowned upon.
Well, I'm just imagining like a Vietnam War mounted barrel gun. You fly through a flock of them and just...
And they ducks go like the clappers. So we have so basically we've got mallards, parries, and then teal are the main ducks that float through. Not allowed to hit the teal. They're smaller, faster little. They're like a fucking rocket ships. These little bastards. Paradise ducks are in plague proportions at the moment, and mallards, are at a number where they need to be regulated. But at the same time, the Canadian geese are in action. You can take as many of those fuckers as you want.
And what's the best eating out of all of those?
Big fat mallards are delicious. A lot of them, if you mix them into salamis, go really good. Canadian geese, we had Al Brown, who's a chef, big, like he's into his game, meat, and into sourcing, freely available protein. So he does great stuff with rabbits. He does great stuff. All of his seafood stuff that he does is unreal. But he was the one that was telling us about these Canadian geese, because generally they don't have any body. They don't have any pellets on the body because they got such a long neck. You can fucking peg them and you don't lose anything. And so when you breast these things out, if you slice them across the grain and then you panko crumb them and then you just shallow fry them, they're like a tonkatsu pork fucking style, but they're like a delicious chicken version of it. They are unreal eating, and we have a fuck ton of them. They're the only bird that you can hunt all year round with any weapon.
Is it?
Yeah. So when opening weekend starts off, you can smack poo geckos because they're nasty little bastards as well.
They get into other species' nests, right? They eat all the eggs.
Mate, they fucking break the necks of ducklings. They smash them. They're miserable fucking things.
They look like dinosaurs and they behave like them, eh?
Yeah, they're pretty shitty. And black swans as well, which has been a resident mob of them at the beach in front of my house. So I'm just checking the legalities in and around how we can fucking
those
towel them
were
up.
imported, right? Because they're meant to be the Queen's animal. I think when settlers brought them here, they were never endemic to New Zealand.
No, they're definitely not endemic to New Zealand. They fuck our waterways as well. So they go and eat all of the eel grass, which is where all of our fish lay their eggs, and that's how we get fish stocks. And so they just park up in every bay where there is eel grass and eat the fish eggs and the eel grass, which is shit for our fishery. So we're going to fire up a few of those bastards.
Well, lucky you've got a gun safe.
Well, yeah. Well, at this stage, I'm shooting under a mate's license, so there's enough lads in there with licenses so we can rotate out guns, which is awesome. It's bloody good fun, though. That shit, I love it. Absolutely love it. And it's the skill set that just slowly starts to build and the kit that you build up over time. So, you start to get camo specific for duck shooting. You start to learn the skills that go with duck shooting. Like, the ducks are so smart.
And it's like anything, right? Like when a bloke gets a hobby, like I love fishing.
Yeah.
And you go and buy the most unnecessary things. Like I've got a wall of rods at home.
Yeah.
Some of them have barely touched the ocean. But you love to go into the shop, get all the kit. I've got all the face masks and ridiculous hats and everything. You hardly ever use them, but it's nice to collect.
Yeah, but duck shooting stuff is so different because you're basically sedentary. So we shoot from my so we're not out in waders and like they have like big maize fields that get flooded and stuff in the States, but we just sit there in these beautiful custom made ponds which have been made by the farmers that we shoot on, and they are just slick. But then there's all that. You turn up and you've got like a thermos that's got like sausages in, and then one of the boys is making like ham and cheese croissants, like a fucking halftime, and then there's got the jet boil going and we're making up coffees, and then you sit there silently and there's always like a 50 gram of rollies that you're just continually on the roll and punching darts.
Just pass it around, yeah.
Oh, it's just fucking glorious.
Hoping to bring in those tobacco addicted ducks.
Yeah, and then when the ducks are around, we've got Tilly and Maddie Carl who are just so sick on the call. Like, it's fucking mind-blowing. So you see these things whistling along, and he's like, and they just go boom and just hit like a right angle turn. He's like, ooh, they fucking like that. And then he just calls them in, and they vortex their way in, and they do a couple of loops, and they check it out, and you just stationary. If you move a fucking muscle, they're like, nah, fuck you, and they peel out, and you're like, yeah.
Well, let that be a lesson, though. That's what happens when you think with your dick.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I cannot wait. Cannot wait.
This is Christian from Wichita, Kansas. Here, every day is fucked. So we listen to Jay and Dunc, and this is not for radio.
I was going to bring this up. Speaking of darts, it's pissing down here in New Zealand, Auckland. We're about to get thumped by a tropical cyclone, which has got surfers fucking fizzing right at the bunghole. Because it opens up places that you never get to surf, which in itself is exciting. But I was driving past a guy, and it was pissing with rain. Like, I'm talking fucking pissing with rain. And this guy was weed-eating the side of this verge on the way into work, like quite a big grassy sort of verge. And he just had a ciggy on his lip the whole time. And I was like, there is not many pursuits which you need that level of commitment. Smoking a dart in the rain is like a very specialised skill. And only the hardened smoker can smoke these darts.
Well, have you seen, like how you'd have cigarette holders back in the day?
Yeah.
In Asia, they have little clips, and it's a tiny umbrella. And it's got a little hole in it, and the cigarette goes through, and you can have it, and wherever it is in your hand, there's a little umbrella over your dart.
See? Give me something
Thinking ahead.
that the Asian countries can't solve, you know?
Yeah. They've sussed it out.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, we've got people like Riser, who works here at the Rock, he's got a big beak on him. He could smoke a cigar in the fucking rain. I think it'd be sweet. But this guy was just thunder pumping it, and then it got me thinking about different people that I've seen that were just so elite, particularly when it came to rolling your own ciggies. So we used to have a guy
One-handed?
Yes.
The one-handed rollers,
Mate,
that's an art.
We had a share milker who would be throwing cups on when we were milking cows and be rolling one-handed. Like, to throw cups on a cow two-handed is kind of tricky enough. But he had it down to a fine art, and he'd be chatting away, fucking the Rock's pumping on the shed radio, and he's just chucking them on and fucking lights it up, and he's good to go. Or even like the person who's Dixie Dunc's wife used to be heavy on the poles, and she would be able to just drive.
As a dancer, or are you talking about?
No, it's both. Funny enough. Yeah, she's from Te Moody, so it's kind of part and parcel.
You gotta do something for money.
Yeah, they but she would be a master at the one-handed roll.
Yeah.
And just slick. And when you see someone roll it, and it's like it's Haley, it's like, oh.
My brother's got one of those little rolly machines. He's got the medicinal marijuana, and he's got a bit of cerebral palsy, so his left hand doesn't work so great.
Yeah.
And those things are amazing because it's a little rolly machine. You can do it one-handed, obviously with a bit of assistance, but the gear work in it, you get a perfect roll every time.
Yeah. But because is that, I don't know, I'm that far out of the loop when it comes to getting on the green that, are you still rolling like a straight cig setup, or are you rolling like more of a hooter, like more of a trumpy?
I'm a big fan of when I'm in places where it's legal to have it, like America. I'm a big fan. I like a big doubly, so I'll do the L bend.
Yes.
And then I'll roll it like a baseball bat. Like I'm a trumpeter with a nice little curve on the top. This one the one that my bro's got just rolls like a single one. Then you've got all sorts of, you got your buckies and your bongs and your gravity bongs and your bags and your spots and I could go on all day.
There was when we were in New York for the Jack Daniels trip, and we were looking at we went to a Rolling Stones gig in New York. And so in New York, you can basically just walk in anywhere. It's all, decriminalised and legalised or whatever it was. And so a couple of the lads that were on the tour with us went out and they came back and they had these things and they were called dog walkers. And so it was like a miniature tin, which was like the equivalent of like what you would have if you were taking your dog out to go for a run and a piss on the sidewalk and then go back inside. So it's a real short sort of session. It's like a half length of a normal cigarette, say.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, and so they're called dog walkers, where you just basically pop out and have a quick one and then come back in. And then the same company made these things called big dogs, and the big dogs were what you're talking about. And so they're like your full commitment to them.
Yeah.
But though it's so strange being in a place like that where we're out on this balcony where you, like a sort of a veranda where you could drink piss and punch darts in the Hilton, and said to the guy that was at the bar, do you mind if we smoke cigarettes? And he goes, you can smoke whatever you want out there. And then the guys were like joking, like, well, can we have a session out here? He goes, yeah, fucking go for gold. It's like sitting there and like in a Hilton on their balcony while the boys are just fucking blazing one up.
That's crazy.
It's a wild one. But yeah, for those people that are persevering with the fine art of punching darts.
How good.
There might be a few people who swear in this, but that's not for radio, isn't it? You know what I mean? Bow.
Bow. Bow.
Why is piss yellow?
Well, I just don't know why.
Well, actually, when you're dehydrated, so it's meant to be clear, right?
It is meant to be clear, but also out of all of the colours, why is it yellow? You don't tip anything yellow into your body.
It must be something because the whole idea is it's getting rid of toxins, right?
Totally.
It's extracting the toxins from whatever you're consuming and getting rid of it in that way. Why do we?
But surely it should be if there's like grubby shit coming out of your body. So I've had rhabdo where my piss was black like a Guinness, and that makes more sense to me.
Well, here we go. Hold on. Here we go. Pee is yellow due to a pigment called urochrome, a waste product created when the body breaks down old red blood cells. The substance processed in the gut, filtered through your kidneys, and excreted, resulting in a colour that ranges from pale yellow or clear to deep amber. Now, if it's deep amber or if it's black, go to the doctor.
Yes.
Immediately.
Yeah.
But then I read this other thing as well where you can change the colour of your excrement depending on what you have. I heard a rumour. Maybe we should try this next week. I'd be willing to try it. If you don't drink any water and you drink purple Powerade for 3 days, your poo turns glow-in-the-dark green.
Yes.
What do you mean, yes? You've had this?
Well, no. I have heard this. Dunc ate like a whole bottle of food colouring and basically dyed his shit some certain colour.
Yeah. Well, I mean, spinach does it to an extent. If you have heaps of spinach, you got sort of greenier turds. And apparently if your turds are real yellow, like bright yellow, it means that your liver's not functioning properly. You need to lay off the piss for a little bit.
Really?
I've had this before and gone, that's quite a yellow colour, obviously after a large weekend at a festival. And it's like, yeah, your body's not breaking down all the toxins properly, so it's just excreting part of it and it goes bright yellow.
There was I've seen this pop up time and time again, and it's I think it was a Harvard study that was done. I mean, there's a bunch of studies, or anecdotally, there's a bunch of studies that have been done across the globe, and there's people that have been doing this ongoing for the longest of time, and they have found this to be true. But if you do a 7-day water fast once a year.
Wait, a water fast, what, not having water?
No, just only having water.
I was going to say,
just
die
water.
up to 7 days of no water.
So basically you fast with only drinking water, and then there's kind of like there's a fucking Himalayan salt that goes into it or whatever it is to give you some form of electrolyte. That it just sweeps any mutated cells out of your body. They basically just get fucking cannibalized and blown out.
A Japanese surgeon, right? I think I read about this.
Yeah, and it sweeps everything out. So any chances of getting any form of cancer are reduced by 70% or more.
This is just our opinion, by the way.
Well,
Just
no,
putting
this
it-
is. I'm going to find it.
not an opinion, but this is disclaimer. Disclaimer. Do not take medical advice from Jay
Oh,
Ruddy.
fuck no. Don't take any form of advice on
Like you
anything.
would be able to do 7 days just on water.
Here we go.
You eat about 13 meals during one radio show.
Yeah, this is strange. So a couple of things here. So I'll bring this bloke up. So his name, he's from the Florida hospital, which obviously doesn't come with a lot of. Dr. Pradeep Jamnadas. So he's part of, he works with metabolic health and fasting science and longevity research, which is impressive.
7-day water fast. The studies done in Boston at the university show that your lifetime probability of getting cancer is reduced by more than 70%. Some studies even higher. Because the cells that are going to die off in the state of the fast are going to be your cancer cells.
Very
Done.
interesting.
Yeah. And my other, just while we're on a medical, so I would love to do that. So I think that there should be, as a part of any working contract, there should be the ability to do that and sort of a place where that can be done, where you can be monitored, which would be fucking awesome. Imagine that, smack bang in the middle of the year, right at the very trough of any form of partying that you are doing, because obviously partying, is generally around
It
summer.
escalates through December.
Yeah. So for us in the Southern Hemisphere, December, basically October, November, December, January, February, March.
Summertime, festival season.
Yeah, so a good 6 months. So if you were to split the other 6 months and go smack bang in the middle there, which would be kind of around post May, June-ish, then you could effectively give yourself a clean slate, or the best part of a clean slate.
It would be horrible, though.
No, because you sit there doing nothing. That's
but
what you need to do.
It
Nothing.
would be a simulation of starving to death.
No, I reckon if you...
Your body's going to respond so badly to it. It'd be horrible.
Well, I think what you end up doing is you go somewhere where you basically have nothing to do other than to sit and unwind. Like you don't have any phone access or internet access, and you can just sit there and you can read. You can take 6 books with you, or whatever it is, and then for the first 3 days you would sleep a lot. You would basically just fucking crash out, and your body would just start to recharge itself, and then you're just drinking on the hour, every hour, whatever it is, and you just watch the sun come up and the sun go down, and then you slowly integrate yourself over the weekend.
Is there a way to cheat code it? Can you just give me an induced coma for 7 days? Just give me nothing. Just put me on a drip. I'll have a nap. I'll wake up. All the bad cells are gone.
I wonder if that would work. It's a
Surely.
sneaky bastard way of doing it.
Yeah, well,
but
look,
it is.
I'm a shortcut kind of guy, Jay.
Yeah, as am I, which instantly piques my interest.
I want to go back to talking about why is pee yellow, or why is it clear? Because I have a very fond memory of a camping trip. So me and my mates from high school, every year since we were 15, as soon as we got driver's licenses, you can at 15 in New Zealand, we'd go away. Same group of mates, the BMC. We talked about the tattoo on a previous episode, and we'd play a game called Circle of Death. They probably call it King's Cup in other areas. Basically, one vessel in the middle. Different cards mean different things, but one of the rules is there's a toilet card, number 7. If you don't have the toilet card, you're not allowed to go to the toilet, or technically you're not allowed to leave the table to go to the toilet.
Yes.
So a mate of mine, he's absolutely busting. All the 7s in the game are gone. So he's just like, he's staring down the barrel of pissing his pants, and he goes, I know what I'll do. I'll finish my beer, take my beer bottle, get it in, fill it up. To his mistake, he then put the lid back on so it wouldn't spill. So then at the end of the night, doing a little bit of a campsite clean for the next day, someone goes, oh, there's a full beer here, chucks it back in the chili bin. Oh. Next morning, we get up, cooking up a bit of bacon and eggs. Should we crack a beer, boys? Yeah, absolutely. And thankfully, it was him, but he opens it. It fizzed like a beer even. It popped and made a little and he just starts chucking it back. And then he looks around and he has this look in his eyes. And at that moment, all of us just clicked and went, oh my God, he's done it. He's gone and consumed it himself.
Not to make it more piss chat, but this is how strange the setup is that this is my algorithm and how fucked this is. And we'll the video for this thing is wild. The bloke that's actually doing
How do you get an algorithm like that, Jay? Is it a kink thing?
I don't know. I'm scrolling past it. There's the butthole sunning practice, which I'm just rolling past at the moment. But this bloke here did something that I just thought was impossible, aka also pointless, and it's him snorting his own urine. So,
well, as a liquid.
Yeah, it's fucked. Have a go at this fucking absolute crook weapon. So it's the explanation to it is hilarious. So just under the little fasting link there, unbelievable. Have a go.
Urine through the nose, unblocking pineal gland, psychic vision, and so on and so forth. This whole area here.
Oh, it's dripping through his beard.
Like 2 times or 3 times. You do it once, like the slow snorting up, and then the quick double, triple one afterwards. You know, like cocaine a little bit, but different.
He's got his technique down. He does this regularly.
Oh, wow. Like a good nose of cocaine or MDMA, but organic, natural urine. You know, I mean urine, my urine, organic stuff, the organic MDMA, the organic cocaine.
Do you reckon he's just got as much of that stuff in his urine still there, filtering back through him, and he's like, this is really activating stuff in my brain as he smashes through it?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, I might give that one a miss.
Yeah.
Shall we have some yarns?
Yes, please. So these are
This is happening.
well, these are submitted via the little voice memo bit, link in the bottom of the podcast description there, and we have a couple of we've got not for radio hats en route,
on order,
but there is no real way of getting them out to people just yet. So these are through the very limited numbers that we've got left of our little secret stash that we had kept over.
All right, this one is from Marcus.
Yo, Jay and Dunc, Marcus here from England. Just thought I'd send you a yarn. When I was living in Wales about 5 years ago, I had a house party. As you can imagine, things got out of hand pretty quickly. And my mate Jamie, because that's his fucking name, thought it'd be a good idea to jump on my garden shed. So I ran outside, started climbing up the garden shed, tried to drag him down. He was giggling. And then a set of twins, Kyle and Adam, we'll call them that because that's their fucking names. They thought it'd be a great idea to pull me back off the shed and stick a broomstick in between my legs. The broomstick went straight into my left testicle and ripped a massive great hole through it. I was on the floor kicking and screaming. One of the twins, Kyle, chucked me in the truck whilst he was still laughing. Took me to Cardiff Hospital. 11 hours later, 7 stitches later, and I was good to go. It was not good. When I was in hospital, I was just sat there crying in pain. It was not cool. And the nurse called me through, and she wasn't much of a looker, but I was sort of a bit disappointed with that. And then once I got into the the operating theatre, if you like, where they were stitching me up, 10 out of 10 come through the door, and I was like, thank Jesus. You know, the first thing she said to me was, "Hi, are you all right?" And I said, "I am now." The rest is history. But yep, all good now, all sewn up and living the dream. Cheers, boys. Up the wires.
Up the broomstick.
I thought literally that was just going to absolutely shish kebab him.
Oh, like straight up and up into the old.
Oh, mate, there would be nothing worse.
Well, for us to decide who gets a hat, we probably should have one more of these. So we've got Kaylee Rogers here.
Sup, dudes? This is Callie from Wisconsin, USA.
Sorry, Callie.
So I was out whitewater rafting the other day. I was with my future brother-in-law and a whole group of other people for the joint bachelorette party. A distinctly missing individual was my sister, because she had been whitewater rafting before in New Zealand and had almost died. So naturally, she decided that I should go in her place. I'm hoping it's not because she wanted me to die. Anyways, we're sitting in the safety briefing. They're talking about hydraulic currents, otherwise known as a spin cycle of death. And, taught you how to get out if you needed to. Just ball yourself up. So we get on the river. Launched right below a dam, where there are a lot of hydraulic currents, but oh no, those are not the ones you have to worry about. We get about 3 rapids into the river. I'm sitting there, my fat ass crammed into a medium wetsuit. And the guide goes, "You guys ready to go for a swim?" Pretty sure he was kidding because this was the Ocoee River in Chattanooga, Tennessee in early spring. But, we all fell out. I find myself in one of these dreaded underwater spin cycles of death.
Oh, shit.
After a brief moment of panic, I remember my extensive training, 30 seconds. And I've come to the surface, cough up some lung butter. After a refreshing drink of river water, get back on the raft and continue. Gonna go again this summer. It was so much fun. Up the Waz.
Up the Waz. I love that lung butter's become a thing after that, that yarn about the dude chugging it back.
Fuck, it was grim.
Oh, man. Well,
what do you reckon? Are we sending it to the schooner scorer or are we sending it to Wisconsin?
I reckon someone who's had their nuts split open by their mate's prank deserves a hat, to be honest. Nearly drowning's tough, but I know what I'd choose. Throw me in the hydraulic current any day over a broomstick through the scrot.
Kelly, I appreciate it. I reckon what we're going to do is we're just going to, once we do get more hats in stock, we'll just basically do like a 50% discount for anybody that just gets one red.
That gets one out here.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Keep those coming in. We really do appreciate them. And we are working like you wouldn't fucking believe to get this thing up and running. It's absolutely
They're trying to get the hats through the Strait of Hormuz right now.
It literally is. You know what that is? We've got the New Zealand equivalent. It's called fucking customs, and they hate anything coming into New Zealand. They are like their own version, their own dictatorship, and they operate to the beat of their own drum, and they cannot be questioned. They cannot be fucked with.
And the weird thing is they're all wearing Not For Radio hats at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great system that they've got. It's just that we don't have probably the best system on our end to deal with it.
Well, this is true.
That will be solved once and once only, and then from that point on, we're home and hosed. So thank you for your perseverance and patience.
And Mr. J. Reeve, thank you for having me on today's poddy, filling in for Dunc while he's away. But I want to say a massive thanks to Classic Builders. They've had over 30 years building homes around the country. They've got options for house and land through to designing anything that's around your budget or your lifestyle. So if you and the family are talking about getting into a new place, have a look, see at Classic Builders. They're absolute legends, bringing you this edition of Not For Radio.